'cause you were born with mischief in your eyes and fire in your veins.
Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel, and welcome to the first book review of 2017. So, it is about damn time I've gotten a book review out for you guys. So, I received an ARC from NetGalley quite a few months ago, but it took me about until 2 days before the book came out to actually read it, because I forgot I had it. But yeah, let's get into the review. So today I am going to be reviewing Heart of the Storm by Michael Buckley. This came out on February 7th, and I received it on NetGalley from HMH Books for Young Readers. HMH screws me up a little bit. It's a bit of a tongue twister. So, the book is 320 pages long and is the third and final book in the Undertow trilogy. So, I discovered this trilogy back when Undertow first came out, and I fell in love with it, and so I ended up power reading the second book when I received the ARC, just because I hadn't had it yet. My library hadn't gotten it in, and I hadn't had a chance to buy it. So when I finally got it from the library, I power read that, and then held off. I meant to read this book in January and never did. So yeah. Whoops. So, yes, let's get into the review, why don't we? So, I was drawn in by the first chapter. It immediately began wondering what was happening, what had happened in between the books, and I really enjoyed the fact that in this one, there were flashbacks to what had happened in between the books, so you do get to find out everything that had happened. So, the start of chapter 2 had me cracking up, and I could easily picture it. I've never had a problem picturing stuff happening in this series at all, so it was pretty nice to know that it was very continuous and you could easily picture stuff. The description of the Rusalka is what I call them. It was creepy, and yet it was so intriguing, and I really ended up enjoying getting to picture them, because they weren't the creepiest thing in this book. Not by a long shot. So, I honestly started laughing when I found out what the Great Abyss actually was. It was just, like, really? Excuse me. So, I did start to feel really bad for Lyric when she got back to land after being kidnapped and escaping. Just a lot of shit went down, basically. So I'm sorry if I'm looking down. I have my notebook with my full review written on here. As always, usually I just set it on my fridge, and yes, I set my camera on my mini fridge. Sorry. Usually I set it there and I just look down at it, but my glasses are old, and I actually need a new prescription. So I really liked the past-present chapter point of view changes. Not really point of view, more of just like the past-present changes between chapters. He always made sure that it was a new chapter to started when he changed from the past to the present, and I really enjoyed that. It made it way less confusing because you could easily tell right from the start of the chapter if it was past or present, even without him saying, like, 3 months ago. Back and forth. Yeah. So, I was very confused by the first meeting of Husk, who is one of the Rusalka in this book. It made me want to continue reading more, but at the start, I definitely didn't like him. But he definitely redeemed himself in my eyes. So, my first impression of Dr. Lima, who is the doctor who treats Lyric when she first gets back on land, wasn't a very good one. But again, she ended up redeeming herself, and I ended up, liking the little bit of information you find out about her. Because she ended up just being very professional, and I will admit, I go through a lot of doctor type things. You guys know about my kidney problem. You know about my diabetes. I also have mental problems right now that I'm having to deal with. So I have to go to a lot of doctors, and I hate doctors who are incredibly professional and don't have any bedside manner. And this was that kind of doctor, and so it made me really want to dislike her, but ended up liking her a tiny, tiny bit. So I was really happy when the rest of the kids showed up to help rescue Lyric. I was wondering, like, how it was going to go down, what was going to happen, how she was going to get to meet up with them, and it happened, and I'm very happy with the way it happened. So Husk really started to become intriguing during the flashback chapters, and it made me really wonder about his motives, and I mean, I don't know, like, you do get to know some of it, but it's tough to explain. It's really tough to explain for me. So, it was definitely surprising to find out about the hive mind kind of thing that was going on in this. Especially when you get further into the book and find out exactly what the hive mind was and what it was about. It definitely became intriguing and really interesting to learn about. So the imagery of this book is, like, it can be really funny sometimes, and there was this one part where Lyric's mom attacked a soldier, and I don't know why, but I burst out laughing during that. So in the book, Lyric, pretty much when she's captured, is made into a slave and has to do, like, chores and stuff, and she was getting no help, and at one point she was sent out to fish. She didn't know how to underwater, so I was really glad when Husk actually showed her how to spearfish and ended up helping her. This again was like, why is he helping her? What's going on here? So the view into Husk's memories, because they end up connecting with the hive mind. The view of Husk's memories were incredibly interesting and definitely, like, I wanted to see more and I wanted to know more about what it was about. So, in the book, there is two romantic storylines. It's kind of more of a love triangle, and that is between, obviously, Lyric and Fathom, and Riley, who is a character that was introduced in the second book. I liked Riley, but throughout the whole book, when she was still doing the storyline with Riley, I was just like, no, I want her with Fathom. Lyric and Bex's friendship is especially good in this book, and really needed in this because of all the things going down and happening. And actually in the book, Lyric found this little sanctuary, in it, and she named it after Bex, and I thought that was really, really sweet, and just, like, I don't know, it was sweet. So, in the book, Minerva, who is the character who kidnapped Lyric, is pregnant. And I absolutely felt no sympathy with what happened to her in the end regarding the baby. The baby actually was really hurting her, and I felt no sympathy. And I gotta say, during that moment where it kind of became chaos due to what was happening with Minerva, Lyric's guards, who were supposed to be keeping her there, were absolute idiots. So, the creatures from the volcano, which are the creepiest things in the book. I told you guys the Rusalka wasn't the creepiest thing in the book. They were the things that if I was probably if I was to see them in a movie, which I would love to see this series become movies, these creatures would probably give me nightmares. just from the way they were described, I don't know if, like, what I'm picturing is what Michael Buckley had in his head for these, but what I'm picturing is creepy as hell. So, at one point, Lyric starts teaching the Rusalka yoga. That just made me crack up. And yes, I am going to put spoilers in the title for this video, so yeah, you guys have been fairly warned before this point. So, seeing the destruction that these new monsters cause was really, like, it made the first two books and the monsters in the first two books, the attacks in the first two books, look like absolute child's play. These monsters were that bad. So, I ended up loving the meeting between Husk and Lyric's group. The Rusalka kind of, yeah. They fight with them in the end against, yeah. But I just loved this meeting because it was just so funny to see, especially, like, Lyric's mom, who is an alpha, have to put aside her prejudice of the Rusalka for this. It was funny as heck. The mini funeral that happened in the book was so sad, but it was perfect and really needed to be written in. If they had just left these characters that died, I would have been kind of pissed. So, when Lyric found out a very important bit of news, probably the most important bit of news in this book, it didn't come as any shock to me. By that point, I really feel like certain things should not have been said throughout the book if Michael Buckley had really wanted it to be a surprise to anyone, especially females. I don't know. I'm not going to say what it is, but it's... you can probably figure it out. I ended up actually feeling really bad for Riley at that point with everything that went down, because he didn't want to be with Lyric after this. So, what Samuel did when they got to wherever they were holding the alpha was absolutely ridiculous and completely unneeded, and it just made you hate Samuel even more. Samuel was another character from the second book that... So, I did absolutely love the slow build that happened to the final battle. It was really well done and well needed, and even though it was a slow build, it was still completely interesting through that you didn't get upset with how short the battle was. So the end of the battle was definitely a little confusing for me, but it didn't take away from the overall book. That my confusion didn't really take away anything for me. So, the epilogue of this was absolutely adorable. I absolutely loved it. It was just like, So overall, this was a perfect ending to the trilogy, and I ended up giving it a 5 out of 5 stars. So yes, this review was quite a bit spoilery, but at the same time, my reviews kind of always are. I always give my opinions on certain things that happened in the books. But I do feel like this one I was a little more spoilery than normal in, so I apologize for that. But hopefully you guys want to read this, because I absolutely enjoyed this. This was definitely a 5-star read for me, and it was good. And I just realized that my hair looks more black than blue. If I'm not, like, in a certain, like right here, looks more black. Blue? Okay, I gotta stop. So, that is going to do it for this book review. I hope you guys all enjoyed it. If you did, give it a like, and I will see you guys all in my next video. Bye, everyone.
'Cause you were born with mischief in your eyes and fire in your veins.